Hey everybody, this is Daniel. I want to do a little bit of a different video today. I want to talk about the J. Cole album, For Your Eyes Only, because I had a lot of thoughts about it. And if you follow me on Facebook, you know I was tweeting all day last week when it came out because I was thoroughly enjoying the album. And I know it put some of you to sleep, but I want to tell you why I liked it. And it has basically to do with that I think the album is a letter to a lot of different people. But I want to talk about toward the end how it's a letter to America, about how America has failed black people. So before I get there, let me just kind of talk about the album for those of you who haven't heard it. J. Cole has this album that just came out last Friday. It's called For Your Eyes Only, and there's a story to this album, right? You can look this up online, so no spoilers. And if you haven't heard it yet, then you could pause it, favorite this video, go listen to it, and then come back. Okay, listen to it twice. You'll pick it up after the second time. So, in this album, he's telling a story, okay? And the story has to do with a friend of his who dies in the streets and leaves this album behind, this recording, for his daughter to hear so that she understands what happened to him, how much he loves her, and what he was a victim of. And J. Cole tells this story. But as you hear the story unfold, you get a sense of a couple of things, right? So I want to talk about those. I want to first say that I really enjoyed these songs. I enjoyed For Whom the Bell Tolls, the first song. I love Deja Vu, especially with that Bryson Tiller exchange beat on it. I love She's Mine. I love Folding Clothes, okay? I don't even like Folding Clothes. I don't like Almond Milk. But that album had me going around going, man, I want to fold clothes with you, boo. And my wife would love to hear that because I don't like folding clothes. They normally say in the laundry bin, like if you could see over there, they're still in the bin from the last time I did laundry. And then the last song, For Your Eyes Only, where he kind of tells more of the story and things get tied up in a way that you really understand what's going on as you progress through the album. There's a couple things I want to just say as you go through that I heard. And I listened to it like 4 or 5 times. I didn't listen to it just once because you want to pick up everything. The first thing is you hear this letter that the father is telling to the daughter that he wants J. Cole to pass along to the little girl. You hear the story that J. Cole's telling about himself because in a sense, this album feels like a fork in the road, right? It feels like there were 2 guys. There's J. Cole and his friend. The friend ends up in the route where he can't escape the streets, and the streets end up taking him. J. Cole is able to get out, and he's able to kind of enjoy that life that his friend was never able to have. And I'm going to come to who I think that friend can be in a couple different ways. And so you see both of their lives. You see the friend who meets a woman, falls in love, has a daughter, but can't escape the streets. And you see that J. Cole meets a woman, falls in love, has a daughter, and sees what has happened and is able, fortunately, to go a different route, but decides that in the same way that he's going to tell the story for the little girl of the friend who died, he's going to tell the story of the friend to everyone else so that we hear what these people go through in the streets when they don't feel like they have choices or opportunities or chances to get more resources. So there's so much layering going on that it's not just the little girl in the story who's hearing how much her father loved her. J. Cole's kind of also telling us, hey, there's a lot of good people out here who are just victims of their circumstances and unfortunately are suffering because they're not really able to get many other opportunities. And the friend, I think his name is James. If you look it up on Google, you'll see that there's a particular person they believe J. Cole's talking about. But when I listened to the album, and maybe this is just me, I couldn't help but think that that friend could also be Tupac and Biggie. I thought about just the way that friend, in a sense, reminds me of Biggie, a man who had opportunities, but unfortunately wasn't able to escape some of those aspects of the streets. And then it made me also think about J. Cole being, in a sense, almost like Jay-Z, where Jay-Z was able to escape that, and Biggie, unfortunately, was not. And it also made me think of Tupac, and especially the way the title of the album with For Your Eyes Only reminds me of Tupac, and it reminded me again of somebody with amazing talent, who could do so much, but unfortunately was not able to escape the street circumstances. So to finish up, I want to talk about this aspect of it being a letter that I haven't seen people talk about a lot. So at the end of the last song, the friend is talking about, like J. Cole's talking about mass incarceration. He's talking about a lack of jobs, some of these things. And to me, this album is almost an indictment, a damning of America. Because what it shows America is you didn't care for these people, and look at what's happened to them. They're in these circumstances where they feel they have no other choice to acquire resources such as money or power or things. And rather than do it legitimately through education and business, they're doing it illegally, maybe through drugs or violence, but they're still human. They're still trying to get these things. They just don't have the same opportunities afforded to them that other people do. And I think there's so much value in this because this speaks to politics. This speaks to failed policies by both parties that have taken away jobs out of neighborhoods, education opportunities out of neighborhoods, and has created a war on drugs and the stigma that goes on, for example, black people, black men and black women, black teenagers, black babies, to where we don't always have the same opportunities as other people. Now, I'm not making excuses, because some of you, when you hear that, you just like go off and you get triggered, and you think I'm saying that this is an excuse for people to do whatever they want and take violent means. No, I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is stories like this should remind us that things are not equal, okay? Black people, it would take us 228 years to catch up to the wealth of white people for a reason that's systemic. And what it does is it can help us begin to understand the lives of those who we may never cross otherwise, and really wrestle with what can we do to help them. Because on the white side, for example, it's people like this who have had their opportunities taken away who voted for Donald Trump. Because they thought, okay, he's the best chance I have because Hillary Clinton's surely not going to help me. This stuff has real world implications for me. But tell me what you think. Like, I'm a thinker, so maybe I read into it. Maybe you saw this, maybe you didn't. Maybe I'm off. Tell me what you think. So leave your thoughts in the comments. I would love to hear from you. This is kind of a test video. If it gets a good response, maybe I'll talk about more music, or if I feel like it, I just might do it. But this has been Daniel, and I'll talk to you next time.